Imagine working hard, juggling full-time jobs, only to realize you spend more on daycare than on your mortgage or rent. And that's not for one kid, but two. That's the reality for millions of American families right now. If that sounds impossible, hit subscribe to The Financial Scoop, share this video and drop a comment. How much are you paying for childcare, or how much did you before the crisis hit? Because what we're about to discuss isn't just family budgeting. It's a nationwide economic emergency reshaping the lives of working parents in ways we can't afford to ignore. The cost of raising children in America has always been high, but childcare has become the silent budget killer. According to a 2023 report from Childcare Aware of America, the average annual cost for infant care now exceeds $15,000 in many states, more than in-state college tuition. And in places like Massachusetts, New York, or California, it can skyrocket to $20,000 or more per child per year. That's not luxury care. That's standard. That's just what it takes to go to work and have someone safely watch your child. And it's not just families in big cities. Rural areas are struggling too. With fewer providers and long wait lists, some parents drive hours just to find someone qualified. It's created what's now being called a childcare desert, areas where demand for licensed care far exceeds availability. But here's where it gets more complicated. Wages haven't kept up. The average household income has grown slowly over the past decade, but childcare costs have surged by over 220% since the 1990s. That math doesn't work. And so families are forced to make impossible decisions. One parent quits their job, they work nights to avoid overlapping shifts, grandparents are pulled in, careers stall, mental health suffers, and children feel the strain too. The American dream told us that working hard, getting an education, and starting a family was the path forward. But now that dream has a price tag, paid in monthly installments to daycare centers, babysitters, and after-school programs. And let's talk about single parents. For a single mom making $40,000 a year, spending $15,000 on childcare isn't just expensive, it's a crisis. That's 38% of her gross income gone before taxes, groceries, or rent. Financial experts advise families to spend no more than 7% of their income on childcare. But today, many households are spending over 20%, 30%, even 40%. That's not a personal finance mistake. That's a systemic failure. It's also one of the biggest reasons why America's labor force participation rate, especially among women, hasn't recovered post-pandemic. When childcare becomes unaffordable or inaccessible, parents, mostly mothers, leave the workforce. And when they leave, their earnings stagnate, retirement contributions shrink, and the economy loses skilled labor. It's a domino effect, and those dominoes are falling fast. Even middle-class families are being priced out. In a 2024 survey by Bankrate, 57% of working parents said they had considered cutting hours, changing jobs, or leaving the workforce entirely due to childcare costs. That's not just anecdotal frustration, that's an economic indicator, and it tells us the system is breaking. Some might argue, why not rely on family or friends? But many people don't have that option. And America's aging population means grandparents are often still working or facing health challenges. Others live too far away, and in a society built around individualism, community-based childcare just isn't the norm anymore. Instead, families turn to credit cards, savings, or even personal loans just to cover monthly childcare bills. The result? A growing segment of household debt tied not to luxuries but to basic survival. One emergency, an illness, job loss, or unexpected expense, and the entire family budget collapses. That's the quiet crisis no one talks about, not unemployment or overspending, but the unbearable weight of just trying to stay afloat while raising kids. And when that burden becomes too much, it doesn't just hurt parents, it hurts the next generation, There's also the economic paradox. Childcare workers, those trusted with our children, are among the lowest paid professionals in the country. The average early childhood educator earns just $28,000 a year. Many qualify for public assistance themselves. So while parents are paying record-breaking amounts, workers are being paid poverty-level wages. That's not just unfair, it's unsustainable. The system is cracking from both ends. Parents can't pay more and workers can't survive on less, and yet the demand keeps growing. More families need two incomes just to afford the cost of living. But without childcare, that second income vanishes. It's a trap, an economic catch-22 where the solution to working is being able to afford not to. So what's the bigger picture? America's childcare cost crisis isn't just a parenting issue, it's a financial, social, and economic disaster hiding in plain sight. It affects GDP, it impacts gender equity, it shapes household debt, long-term wealth building, and even birth rates. In fact, recent census data shows a sharp decline in birth rates across the US, and one of the top reasons cited by would-be parents: the cost of childcare. For the first time, the idea of growing a family is being weighed not against emotional readiness, but against cold, hard math. And increasingly, the math doesn't add up. That's how a generation decides not to have kids. That's how entire towns face school closures, labor shortages, and declining population growth. That's how a crisis quietly becomes a collapse. Meanwhile, political debates drag on. Some propose universal pre-K, subsidies, or tax credits. But year after year, proposals stall, budgets shrink, and parents are left to fend for themselves. It's no wonder that nearly half of all American parents report feeling financially insecure most months. Because when 40% of your income disappears before you even get to work, the American dream starts to feel like a cruel joke. And still, families push forward. They budget, they sacrifice, they work harder, longer, smarter. But the finish line keeps moving, and the weight keeps getting heavier. So if you've ever asked yourself, why is it so hard to get ahead? Why does it feel like no matter how much you earn, it's never enough? Why do families with two incomes still live paycheck to paycheck? This is one of the answers. This is one of the hidden structural costs draining household wealth and driving record-breaking debt. And unless something changes, it will only get worse. We're not just raising children, we're raising a question. Can a society survive when working families can't afford to work? That's the real story behind America's childcare cost crisis. It's not just numbers on a spreadsheet, it's not just policy debates or ideological divides, it's millions of households quietly drowning in monthly bills, silently sacrificing long-term security for short-term survival. And the worst part? Many feel like they're the only ones, but they're not. This is happening everywhere. From cities to suburbs to small towns. And if we don't acknowledge it, we can't fix it. If this video helped you see the bigger picture, if it made you reflect on your own financial pressures or those of people around you, then take a second right now. Subscribe to The Financial Scoop for more fact-based breakdowns of America's hidden financial battles. Like this video to boost it in the algorithm so more families can see they're not alone. And tell us in the comments, what's childcare costing you? And what are you sacrificing to pay for it? Because this isn't a niche issue, it's a national emergency. And the first step to solving any crisis is calling it what it is. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to The Financial Scoop for more insightful stories. Your support helps us reach more people and create more content like this. Thank you.